Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Alex from AngelBlock, and I'm joined today by Abe from Script Network.
Good to meet you. Thanks for having me.
I like that you were able to fit in. You read my mind exactly. That was your cue to jump in to say hi to everybody. So, as everybody here probably knows at this point, Script Network is not only getting ready for their TGE, which is around the corner, but they're also kicking off the last portion of their fundraising. And that's one of the reasons that we're here. Part of that allocation is going to be available on AngelBlock as the second raise of this year. I'm super excited personally. This is outside of my AngelBlock role. I'm like super excited for what you guys are building. I definitely see this as an opportunity to to take part and kind of be a bag holder in what you guys have done. So I'm very, very excited about that. And this is just an opportunity to kind of we've had some questions in our community. We feel like this is going to be a pretty cool opportunity to kind of spread the word about what you guys have built and where Script Network is going into 2024. So that's kind of the gist of it. I think the best thing is just to dive into some of the questions that we've already received. So, Abe, can you give us a brief overview of Script Network and what are the kinds of problems that you're trying to solve?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, what Script Network is, it's a what do you say, a decentralized protocol that uses blockchain mechanics to govern the life cycle of the content, the storage management, as well as the streaming side as well. Basically, all types of serving at scale, whilst also being a full stack chain. And it consists of five different cornerstones. We have this, our super DApp, which is called Script TV. We do have a marketplace. There's an enterprise side to it, as well as script adverts, and obviously the blockchain side of it. I think to what do you say to for the interest of time, I think the best part would be to dive into the super DApp, which is Script TV, which is essentially a community-driven streaming service whereby we offer free content for the users, and where the content also is governed by the users essentially. And the users also, by participating in this ecosystem, you are able to uh, get tokenized rewards, um, based on the engagement, watch time, and some other variables as well. And I think there's the other kinds of layers to the streaming is that we are offering the ability for users also to meet with their favorite filmmaker essentially to in order to increase the overall fan engagement. So that's basically in short of what it is. We also do have um, a service on the enterprise side as well, where we are through our node network we are able to save companies significant amounts of money, and not only companies in general, but filmmakers, as well as other distribution arms that have a lot of what do you say, like videos at scale, essentially. So there's a possibility for the filmmakers to essentially spin up broadcast grade channels in which they would be able to not only distribute to us but also to our other partners that are other streaming services in order to get better returns on their content essentially. So that's a little bit in short of what it is that we're doing.
I love it. And could you expand on, I know like, especially in the last 2, 3 years, we've had a lot of projects that kind of, I call it the X to earn, right, model, because we've had walk to earn, play to earn, work out to
Yeah.
earn, listen to earn, what have you, right? And I think at this moment, it's pretty apparent that there is a natural downside if this strategy isn't implemented in a correct fashion, right? And I know that
Sure.
you guys have taken some steps into making sure that you don't follow into the heavy sell pressure that some other projects have experienced in the past. And I was hoping that you could kind of explain, how your watch to earn model is kind of different than what we've seen in the last few years on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the closest thing to how our watch to earn mechanism works is closer to Steppen in terms of how you mint a pair of NFT glasses that is essentially going to follow you throughout the process. But we have been analyzing a lot of these to earn projects in whereby we could quite easily see the errors that many of these projects has done in the past, and hence why we have implemented some um, uh, what is it called, like a type of layers in order to prevent that the massive, because obviously if you have what do you say, like if people are only going to earn, then automatically it will cause sell pressure, and there will be, basically dumps on the market. So what we have in order to prevent it, farmers and so forth, we do have like a um, one preventative method I can mention is the captcha method, which ultimately means that you won't be able to just put on your TV and then just leave it and just keep it running. These batteries, if you will, on the glasses will deplete at some point, and then you would also have to recharge them, which is of course a burnable event, and so on and so forth.
Kind of like a cooldown mechanic in World of Warcraft. Sorry, that's my nerd side coming
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Yeah,
You can't just spam your ultimate ability. You have to give it a few minutes to recharge.
sure.
So could you go into, I think we're wrapping up 2023 at a rapid pace, waking up today and it's already December. Like, where did the time go?
Crazy.
Could you kind of go into like the project's roadmap and some of the key milestones that you guys have on the horizon?
Um, yeah, absolutely. I think in short term, it would be we are going to focus. Obviously, we're quite close to the launch, so that's where our focus is at the moment. But in terms of short-term goals, we are going to focus on what do you say, on user growth. You know, and in order to facilitate that, we are also going to, introduce new features and new services, and on I guess on a longer term basis, it's going to be fully focused on, interoperability.
Got it. Got it. Very cool. I'm trying to just find, the most interesting questions, because I feel like when you start answering some of them, you're checking off some of the other points and some of the other questions that we received from the community. So I just don't want us to, waste any time and double down on questions that have already been answered. But yeah,
Yeah.
like this is a pretty cool one, because I know that I've spoken to you, I've spoken to Akeem on multiple occasions, and I think that your team's background and your background is pretty interesting in terms of what you guys are building. So could you maybe just go over, some of the key members in your team, what they've done before and how that's translating into what you guys are doing with Script Network?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess we have four key members in the team. I guess Romani is the which is our CTO. Have been working on big projects in the past. I think one of them has been for Samsung, and obviously we have Lily, which is our chief marketing officer. Has been advising a lot of other blockchain companies in the past, and then obviously if we're talking about me and Akeem, Akeem has been in the content space for quite some time. Obviously, he has done a few exits as well in his previous ventures. He co-owned a sports agency, sports content agency, should I say? And as for myself, I have been, working in the IT and telecom sector for what is it now? It's more than a decade. It's quite some time. And over the last couple of years, I've been done some consultancy work uh, and before switching over to the crypto blockchain side. And in that consultancy work, I worked closely with Netflix Nordics, HBO Nordic, as well as Viaplay, which is one of the larger streaming services here in the Scandinavian region.
Yeah, I love that. And like one of the things that I really liked about Script Network, like apart from the team, like I think the team is very, very solid. And I really do like the fact that you guys have a pretty robust and diverse background when it comes to your experience. Just being in the space for as many years as I've been, I've noticed that if if your entire team was from the, let's call it, I don't know, like Web 2, like let's just classify that TV industry or broadcasting industry, and everyone had a similar background, it's
Yeah,
actually very difficult to disrupt an entire sector if your entire experience is just from that sector, right? Like you
yeah,
have a lot of um, just notions like how things should work, and they're quite heavily biased towards how it has worked in the past, right? Which
yeah,
is like it's kind of interesting. And I know, like, I have experienced in venture capital, but I think that one of the best things in AngelBlock we did, like Leaf, who's our chief financial officer, he co-founded a crypto-based VC in the past. But I think one of our strong points is that we're not a strict venture capital team that suddenly switched and we're like, oh, we're just going to do this on the blockchain now, right?
yeah,
Because you have a lot of these really bad habits that you're carrying over from the sector that you're trying to disrupt, and you're not even noticing that you're carrying these bad habits with you all this way, right? So
yeah.
I'm a big fan of just like diverse background teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, so with some of the content partners that we have been speaking with as well, once they realized that we were not from the Hollywood, they, I think I remember quite clear. There was one of them saying to me like, "Oh yeah, I understand that, there's those who are going to innovate are not the ones that are from here, essentially." So yeah, uh,
Exactly.
yeah, so absolutely. And to be fair, though, I have to say that there are some of these bigger dragons that are quite innovative. I know for a fact that Warner Brothers are very front in the front when it comes to innovating in this space as well. We sat together with their innovations team, and they were we understood, or they shared with us that they are also going to be looking at these types of services that we also offer. So they were super excited about that. But yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see where the next couple of years is going to show us.
Definitely. And I also think that, it's very, very difficult for legacy side businesses to play catch up. Like you mentioned, Warner Brothers, hats off to them. If you're trying to do something in this space, awesome. I know I've been in panels, throughout the last, like since 2017, with people from pretty major banks within Europe,
Right.
with essentially like their blockchain innovation leads. And we've built many, many projects. Like I'm talking about the industry in general. Like we've just pushed this industry so far. And I Santander or some other banks, like I've been on panels with them, they haven't done too much. Like
Yeah.
it's very, like, if you're from the legacy side, it's very, very hard to just like push this innovative tech through, right? To get the
Yeah.
entire board of directors on board, so to speak, and actually do something in this space. It's very difficult.
Yeah, it's quite
And
that is quite
go ahead.
interesting,
Yeah.
because I think I was actually speaking with one of my closer friends. He's actually a banker himself, and I asked him like, how is it in why aren't you uh, like looking into, or this trying to at least find out if there's any like opportunities for you? And then he just mentioned that it the blockchain side is accounting for less than 1% of our entire business. So it's like it's not very interesting for them to have a look at. But I guess the time will tell if that's going to change.
Yeah, it's like the Porsche NFTs. Remember, like
Hmm.
they came in the bear market, and who is it for exactly? Is it for the small percentage of people that have a Porsche or are buying a Porsche and know what an NFT is, because that's a very, very small target demographic? Is it
Yeah,
for NFT people that are really into NFTs, but maybe one day want to have a Porsche, right? Like it's those lines when a legacy business comes into this space and tries to do something, those lines get very, very blurry. It's
yeah.
very, very difficult. And speaking of legacy businesses and things of this nature, what are some of the regulatory aspects that you guys are dealing with? Because to be fully honest, like my background actually before crypto, like my background is legacy media as well, right?
All right.
So I know a bit about this space, but I've been out of that for close to 10 years now. So it's I'm very interested to find out like what are some of the regulatory hurdles that you guys are currently dealing with.
I think for now we don't have any hurdles. I mean, in the I think the only um part essentially where there has been a bit of confusion in terms of where it's I've been working on this for I think most part of this year when it comes to compliance, but it's on the crypto side essentially, and that's I think there's this what is it called? The FATF regulatory body is basically going to show or give a guideline on how certain things are going to be done, but at the end of the day, it's still very unclear on. So it kind of feels like we're operating in the gray area, but at some point we are not. So it's a little bit unclear. So that is, I guess, uh, the what do you say the most where the most confusion has been. Like, are we? Is it a security or is it not? But ultimately, we have come to the conclusion that it is not a security. So, but we'll see. It's all. Even if you have a definition of something, it could be that the regulatory bodies are kind of seeing it as something else. So I guess that is the to answer your question. Yeah, that's the only hurdle that we have had. But nothing is so far in terms of content or anything like that. We license the content as any other streaming service, whereby we have our compensation models all already worked out. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's like one thing that I really like when I first learned about Script Network is because when you like not to have absolutely anything against what you guys have built, but when I first saw the site and I first tried the app, I'm like, wait, what? Like, how does this work? Do they just like stream it? Like how did and then like you guys told me that like no, like we have deals with all of these channels or their subsidiaries, and like everything is fully above board. We're not just like hacking into some random stream and then just showing it on our site, right? Which is, I mean, I think that says a lot about what we have come to expect in this space,
Yeah.
like, and that's why I said it's nothing against you guys. It's just like I've seen so much just illegal stuff because people, in this space, they just don't care about regulations, they don't care about
Yeah.
consequences, so
Yeah.
like when I learned that you guys have actual deals with all of these partners in place, I was like, wow, okay, so they're actually doing something different.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's and to be fair, it was not easy when we first started out. Because once they realized that you are like a crypto company, they were like, whoa, back off a second. But yeah, we managed to work it out, and it's crypto is far more accepted today, and if you compare it to when we first started. So yeah, it's good times ahead.
Yeah, 100%. And it's pretty cool. Like, I forgot to mention that when you said some of the regulatory hurdles that you guys are facing, and it's the same regulatory hurdles that everybody in this space that has a token, which is but like everything, if you're not like a Bitcoin infrastructure project, like a wallet or something, then you're probably going to be facing the same hurdles, right? So we're all in the same boat. We just want some clarity.
Yeah,
I know since 2016, this industry has been pretty vocally asking for clarity from regulators, and it's still a mixed bag. So
yeah,
it's hard to say, but we're all in the same boat. So solidarity in that case.
for sure.
I just kind of want to highlight the fact, and we've had a back and forth, and we can kind of show people a bit, how this entire process works, because we've been talking back and forth on a group chat for, I think it's like what, 3-4 months now, right? And
Yeah,
that's how long it takes to figure things out, make sure that our goals are aligned, our values are aligned.
yeah,
And that's why I'm really excited about working with you guys on this raise. And one of the things when it comes to having values aligned, and I think I've seen some people in your Telegram chat asking about this. And I know that we've definitely had people in our Telegram chat ask about this, about it being the seed allocation, right? And feel free to give your 2 cents on this, but my 2 cents on this is just that we have never aligned ourselves with the entire launchpad narrative, and we really do the target demographic that us at AngelBlock want to go after is people that understand the best way to quote unquote make it in this space is by investing. And that's why I'm not saying flipping or launch padding or anything else. Solid projects at good prices, right? At these
yeah,
seed round prices, and really understanding that a quick 3-4x, on a project is nothing compared to having a solid pick, holding it, for a year or 2 years and into a cycle, or 3 years sometimes. If you've held Bitcoin for 10 years, then congratulations. Like you've done a pretty damn good job, right?
sure.
So I just really wanted to get maybe your 2 cents on working with us and making the seed allocation available, and kind of how you view everything going forward.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I answer the last part first, I think, for us, it's very important, with, what partnerships, it's most of the, I would say, the ones, one of the most important blocks, when it comes to building up a company. And, for us, it's, we want, of course, to work with, emerging projects, in the next bull run, and alongside, the fact that what do you say, like a company that has, same aligned goals, exactly as you mentioned. And, we feel that, AngelBlock has that. So for us, when it comes to partnering up, also on the fact that, the communication from your side has been great, which made it, to be a no-brainer when it comes to partnering up, for sure. And yeah, and there was something you mentioned also regarding the, if I had any inputs on the seed. Was that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. So absolutely. I mean, the on the seed round, we have a, for an investor to come in. Obviously, you're getting it at a discount, but it also comes with the fact that it's a little bit of a longer vesting period, and I think that's great. So yeah, I think it's
It has
also
to even out
put on.
somewhere, right?
What's that?
It has to even out somewhere. You can't get
Yeah,
a
absolutely. And
really
if
really
they,
discounted price and no vesting. Like, that's not how it
yeah,
works.
exactly. And I mean, it's also, those who are coming in, they are, understanding the project. They are understanding the project. They have read about it. They most likely listened to this AMA as well. So they are ultimately supporting the project, and we're not here for the short term anyway. So I guess, we have been building this for. What is it now? Around 2 years. So it's quite a big project. And obviously we're here for the rest of the years as well. So yeah, that's
Absolutely.
ultimately my 2 cents on it. Yeah.
And remind me how many active users you guys have on a monthly basis, because I know that's pretty astounding.
Yeah, I mean, since we went into public beta, which was earlier this year, we have so far got 170,000 active
Wow,
accounts, and we are also. Last time I checked, now I haven't checked in a few days, but it was organically growing with around 400 users a day, which is great. And
incredible.
we think that uh, once we are, and this is before launching, so I take it once we
Yeah,
launch, it's going to be quite
multiples.
interesting to see how it develops. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
And especially we have to take into account market sentiment, which, you guys building in this space, us building in this space, we know that for the last 2 years has been horrific.
yeah,
The macro sentiment has been horrible.
yeah.
So that's why I actually talked about this on a Twitter Spaces, on an Aleph Zero focused Twitter Spaces yesterday that I was invited to, and that's exactly what I said is like in my personal opinion, now is the time to double down on projects that have been building in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
Because if someone's just coming into this space, after taking the last 2, 3 years off, because they're expecting a bull run to, be imminent and right around the corner, like, is that someone you really want to back? Whether
yeah,
it be, with your time or with your capital, it's, I think that if you're doing, and in this case I'm talking about script network, if you're doing insane numbers, because those are like absolutely insane numbers, right, in a bear market, then in my opinion, as someone who has invested in dozens of projects throughout these years, I think it's pretty safe to expect a multiple of that in a bull market, right? Well, and
yeah,
and and it doesn't even really matter. Like, is it going to be 2, 3, 4x of users? Like as long as it's 1.52, like those numbers are already starting to become absolutely insane for a public beta, right?
sure.
So
Yeah,
that's just one of the things that I'm really, really excited about with you guys. And one thing I also wanted to comment and basically applaud in your case, is the valuation of this company, because I believe that the way that your, especially your FDV, which is $10 million at launch, um, that is a very, very honest, fully diluted valuation, you know? And I really think that you guys have an incredible room to grow. And I'm still kind of disappointed, seeing projects launching in bear markets with, no revenue, no users, and valuing themselves at, 50, 60, 70, 80 million dollars. Like,
yeah.
it's just like, how,
And
how on earth is this still happening,
yeah, and I think the reason why they get away with it is because there's no one calling them out. that's the that's
It's
the
true.
worst part. And I mean, and it's but for us it's important, to have some, you have to basically be able to reflect and have like an be honest and to we obviously we have a lot of potential, but we are still very early. So that hence the reason why we believe that 10 million is a fair valuation.
Oh, I definitely agree with you there. Well, from my end, I think that's it. Like, we're pretty much in the allotted time that we've planned for this call. Like, I've definitely gotten a lot out of this, so I want to thank you for that. I hope our community is also going to enjoy this short conversation. And to be honest, like, I'm personally, this is, outside of AngelBlock, outside of everything, I'm really, really excited about what you guys are building, and I'm really looking forward to you guys launching on AngelBlock Tuesday, December 5th, which is next week. I'm definitely taking part in this, and all the best to you, to the team. Really looking forward to what you guys are building.
Thank you so much, guys. It's the entire team at Angel Block has been, very good uh, to us, and when it comes to the communication part, as well as the just easy to deal with. So for us, it's very we are super excited to work, alongside you guys as well. And obviously, the what do you say? The even post launch, we are going to have um, going to be able, to benefit from, being able to tap into your community as well. So it's not a launch and then goodbye. It's more,
Yeah.
we are going to be working alongside each other for quite some time. So yeah, I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, what we talked about earlier about aligning values, because if you're just giving someone, tokens and you expect them to sell like right away, which is the model for a lot of these competitors, which are launch pads.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of having values aligned in a way where if you guys win, we win, and vice versa, right?
yeah,
Which is unfortunately still not that common in crypto. There almost always has to be a winner and a loser. So
sure.
hopefully we can change that, slow and
Yeah,
steady. But I want to thank you
absolutely.
again. Thank you so much for this call. Have a great weekend. Looking forward to next week and you guys kicking ass.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Cheers.